Nasty secrets keeping you up, my poisonous little ivy?
I would have gone straight to bed if I'd known you were coming home so soon. And speaking of poisonous, where's Rebecca?
Well, I would assume she's home with her daughter after this evening's disastrous turn of events, and one might think you would be equally as concerned about Ethan's decision to dump Gwen for some little mini-skirted chippy from the wrong side of the tracks.
If Ethan doesn't marry Gwen, you have only yourself to blame. You're the one who thrust him in Teresa's direction in the first place.
I told him to have a fling with a housekeeper's daughter, not fall in love with her. Not only has Ethan thrown his own future away, he's done inestimable damage to Crane Industries by ruining our chances of a merger with Hotchkiss.
I wonder which one bothers you more.
Think what you will. That doesn't change the fact that we have a devastatingly serious problem on our hands regarding Ethan's marriage to Gwen.
Not necessarily. Teresa's a bright young woman. I'm sure she can be made to understand that she and Ethan have no future.
What, are you hallucinating? Teresa will never give up her dream of snaring Ethan now, and why should she when she's been thus successful?
Oh, you don't know her as well as I do.
Well, I know her kind well enough. Fortunately, the matter's out of our hands, thanks to Rebecca's quick thinking. Teresa's halfway around the world by now.
Unless Ethan can stop her at the airport before her plane takes off.
But he won't. Rebecca and I took the extra precaution of having Teresa's name deleted from all the computer passenger lists. There's no way he can find her now.
It's too late, Father. I did find Teresa, despite your best efforts. I found her and told her I love her as much as she loves me. And I'm not going to have you manipulate my life anymore. How dare you help Rebecca Hotchkiss try to send Teresa out of the country?
I was doing it for you, son.
Well, then don't do me any more favors. Look, and from now on, I make my own decisions, all of them. Is that understood?
I only want what's best for you, same as your mother here.
Yeah, but Mother would never stoop as low as you have tonight. And just for the record, I'm the only one who knows what's best for me, whether you believe it or not.
Darling, I know you're doing what you feel is right, but you can understand why we're all in a bit of a state. You have known Gwen forever. I can't count the number of times you've told me how much you love her.
Mother, it wasn't a lie. I still have real feelings for her, but that isn't enough to go through with the marriage tomorrow. Not when I feel the way I do about Teresa. And as hard as tonight was on Gwen, I did the honorable thing.
Well, Gwen's not the only one affected by your sudden attack of honor. What about Crane Industries' merger with Hotchkiss Enterprises? I mean, you're at the helm of the board now, son. Surely you're aware of how critical this business alliance was to our holdings.
Oh, well, now I get it. I mean, this isn't about me or my happiness.
Oh, please,
no, this is about money and stocks. The only thing you and Grandfather give a damn about. Let me guess. After my actions tonight, the Cranes are only worth $250 billion instead of $251?
Well, actually, it's more in the ballpark of...
Look, Father, you don't get it. I don't care about the money. This is about people's lives, doing what's right, being true to oneself.
Do you honestly believe that Teresa Lopez Fitzgerald will make you happier in the long run than Gwen?
I don't know, Mother. But I've got to give myself a chance to find out. I need time to do that, and this was the only way I can see of getting it.
Oh, for God's sakes, couldn't you just go ahead with the wedding and sort out all this romantic falderall afterwards?
What, and hurt Gwen and Teresa even more than I already have? No, Father. If you think that would be a reasonable way to handle this, well, we don't understand one another at all. I feel like a heel for hurting Gwen. But when I talk to her in the morning, I'll get her to understand that I couldn't see it any other way.
You've never heard the expression, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned?
It may take a little time, but I'm sure Gwen will come around. Because she's one of the brightest, most decent, loving people I've ever met.
Well, where the hell are all the servants?
sleeping, Julian. It's the middle of the night.
I'll get it.
No, you stay here with your mother. Perhaps she can talk some sense into you. I'll see who it is. I'm glad you can find something amusing in all this.
Of course I can. You see, Ethan is going to have a very hard time tracking down Gwen tonight. Last I spoke to her, she's at Teresa's.
Teresa's. Why?
Why do you think, Ivy? She's there to give Teresa tit for tat.
Gwen wouldn't physically harm Teresa, would she?
Well, after everything Teresa's done to her, I certainly wouldn't blame her, would you? But what do you care? I thought you were in with us on all this.
Oh, she is, Rebecca. We all want Ethan and Gwen to be married as soon as possible.
I just would want to know if Teresa or her family are in any real danger.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Just suffice it to say that we Hotchkiss women can be just as ruthless as the Crane men when need be. Before this night is over, Teresa is going to wish she had never heard of your son. Ethan can't call over to Teresa's because if he does, he'll find out that Gwen is there. She's suffered enough disappointments for one day, don't you think?
Isn't it a little late to be calling Pilar's house? Can't this wait until morning?
Yeah, maybe you're right. I spoke to Teresa earlier tonight. Well, good night, Mother. Good night.
Good night.
Well, that's more like it, Ivy. Now, all we have to do is wait for Gwen to talk some sense into Teresa, and then all will be right with the world again.
I hope so. Pilar would never forgive me if I let something serious happen to Teresa. What exactly did Gwen say she intended to do?
Well, she didn't specifically say. But you know, my daughter's always been a lot like me. She's always been a hands-on kind of girl.